Kennedy Japan says that relatively, in comparison to the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia-led government, the economy has been relatively stable and well managed compared to when his opponent, Bawumia, was the head of the economic management team. That also presupposes that it's a far departure from your position, is that not?
It is not.
But Appiah Danquah, you have your turn. Appiah Danquah, the reality is that once you want to rationalize expenditure, not many people will be happy. But for this time, we've had even members of parliament and then those who are MMDCs say that their statutory payments, whether it's a common fund, etc., have been duly paid to them. Yes. And that also lends credence that payments are being made, is that not it? So cannot be true that people are not being paid.
So let me wish your lovely viewers a good morning, and to reiterate that I see that Ken has a seat on this at this holy table. Ken Japan has a seat on this table, so the NPP is duly represented on this table. Maybe.
No, please, let's go ahead.
Why this position?
I wish my lovely brother a good morning, and then my own professor a good morning. I wish that Ken is represented on this table. Russia-Ukraine is still ongoing. Russia-Ukraine is still ongoing. And what's it called? The city is now 10.9.
But
inflation is single digit. IMF estimates our GDP to be 88 billion. As of close of 2024, it was 82 billion. Now, when you define what an economy is, and when you understand that an economy is the state of any country or any region in terms of its production and consumption of goods and services and the supply of money, now the role government plays in every economy is in terms of the fiscal. When we say fiscal year, we are talking about how government raises money and how it spends money, and the monetary. Then when you make a comparative analysis, I think the only conclusion you can come to is that this government has done significantly better than your government. Significantly better. That this government, that the government of John Dramani Mahama has done significantly better than the government of His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo. And that the basis of that performance is not because government is not spending like you are saying. Because that cannot be the basis. Probably what they are spending, but they are spending on productive issues. Because there are some payments that are statutory, there are some payments that are legal, that you can't but what's it called? A P. Now, S&P is telling us that it raised Ghana's economy right now, credit rating, at B- with a stable outlook. Now, it's interesting to note that this rating is lower than our ratings in 2013, it's lower than our ratings was in 2014, it's lower than our ratings in 2015, lower than our ratings in 2016. You understand? But what makes this very positive and very interesting is when you place it in context. And the context being that we came from a junk status. You understand? And within just 10 months, and with the war in Russia and Ukraine still raging, unlike what my brother said, still raging, deadlier than before.
Oh, it's not deadlier than before. Bye.
Our credit rating is now being negative. Now, why is S&P upgrading us? S&P is upgrading us because they are saying that we have significantly improved in terms of our external financial position. Now, what that simply means is that as of the beginning of the year, our reserves had $6.8 billion. As of today, our reserve is at 11 billion, about 9% of our GDP. Understand? Our reserve is so significant that we can afford, understand, to put dollar into the market to stabilize our economy. Now, what's the function of Bank of Ghana? Because it's Bank of Ghana that made those injections. what's the function of Bank of Ghana? The function of Bank of Ghana, one, is to stabilize the currency. Two, is to deal with inflation.
As far as the monetary policy.
That's the duty of Bank of Ghana.
So what's your point? That it's only trying to stabilize?
Exactly. And it can do so because of the significant improvement in our external financial position. Because you must have the dollars before you can inject. You understand? Now the point is that within a space of 10 months, now they are saying no policy, but within a space of 10 months, we've moved our external financial position from 6.8 billion to about 11 billion. Now when it comes to fiscal, unlike a certain government that decided to, in their transformational agenda, spend 400 million on the program that was meant to be their most transformational agenda, the one they want to have, and spend over 5 billion on a useless project like NAPCO. Unlike a government.
Can you explain that? Because NAPCO is supposed to provide jobs.
How
or are you making claims that they're only providing stipends?
First of all, how much did NAPCO add to our GDP? How much? They should tell us. Now, the program that they touted as going to be transformational in terms of adding to the GDP, in terms of creating jobs, in terms of adding revenue to our country, 1D1F, they spent 400 million Ghana cedis. Because we say that the role that the government plays in any economy is in terms of the fiscal and monetary. In fact, the fiscal is what the president directly has a hand in.
Yeah, through the finance minister.
Yeah. And they blow it. Now you take the SML, you create a contract that purports to do something that was already being done, just to put money into your pockets. That's what they use a fiscal policy for. National service, through criminal means, spent 2.2 billion.
Oh, you're making claims that the economy was leaking?
Significantly, 2.2 billion. 2.2 billion. Buffer stock. People were building mansions. Go to the energy sector.
All these are allegations.
You go to the no, but these are facts that our auditors' reports have laid claim to.
Allegations.
So the fact that
these are quotes from the auditors general report.
What is alleged? What is an allegation is whether or not it was the people. But as to the losses, are facts that are matters that are factual. Because they are in our auditors' reports, and there are more stories of serious leakages.
More rot.
You understand? And so, in the past, and it's not happening now, and I hope it continues, government used its fiscal policy in a manner that was so reckless. That it rendered our economy junk. It put us in a situation where our economy lost all credibility. It put us in a state where, contrary to the principle Nanado espoused, the principle of the Hattarization of the city.
What do you mean by Hattarization?
Sidinaya Hatta. Sidinaya Hatta. I didn't say that all. There was His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the president who said he was going to protect the public purse. He was the only president who directly made that promise. But Nanado opened a public purse at a time when we had a public financial management regime. And they created a fiscal regime that destroyed the very fabric of the economy. You get the picture. Because beyond the strong position of our external position, one of the reasons S&P is saying is the cause for this positive or this stable outlook of our economy is the fiscal discipline that is being shown. S&P, they told us why they were written us. And that one, we have improved significantly on our external financial position. And he said it was because of the gold and cocoa.
leading to the great balance of payment performance.
And then 2, the prudent nature in which the fiscal side of the economy has been managed. You understand? Those were the reasons they give, and the reasons are so clever. Because what's called economic indicators are like your health indicators, in the sense that you all go to hospital, they say your BP. For a normal human being, your BP ought to be this 120/80. If your BP is over 120/80, you know that health-wise you will be working. Okay.
That's why you say hearterization.
No, but Nanado said one of the reasons why he was bringing His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was to deal with the principle of the hearterization of the city. So the job of Bawumia was to stabilize the city. Bawumia himself said that if you are confused about the state of your economy, one key indicator you ought to look at is your exchange rate. And Mahmoud Bawumia, when he said that the exchange rate was about 2:1, indeed, Nanado said that because the dollar had moved from 1:1 to 2:1, His Excellency John Mahama ought to have resigned. Now, the reason why he didn't resign was what? The envelope under the table. That's what Nanado told us. Yet, when it went to 17:1, Nanado didn't see the need to resign. Maybe we know the reasons. We've seen Hanan's mansion. We've seen the 2.2 billion NSS.
You've seen what?
Hanan's mansion. We've seen the 2.2 billion. In fact, His Excellency Dr. Bawumia said he fought for power, and because of the success in that fight, Japan has made money, Hanan has made money, Champo has made money.
Ken was already.
I beg you. I'm quoting. I'm quoting. Bawumia said that.
When did Bawumia?
Oh, dog.
When did he become the vice president to come make Ken?
Oh, dog. When did he Bawumia, you see, don't let us lose focus. Dog. Bawumia says, listen,
no, so please let me stop interjecting. So that
Dr. Bawumia said that he fought hard for the NPP to win power. And because of that success, Kenya Point tam. Use the word tam. What's his name? Hanan Inyesika tam. The NSS people, they've gotten 2.2 billion tam. See, the point is, when Nanado failed, beyond all the fact that he created a criminal enterprise, what they failed was their radical failure to transform this economy. And JDM will be faced with the same problem. You understand? Because what the IMF program has done and what their own fiscal discipline has done is to create that stability that will serve as a springboard for transformation. Now, they need to find strategies, and I've read their big push agenda, which in Kuko indicated their 24-hour economy. If they can master just 10% commitment to those projects, if they can find a way of including the masses of this country in their real politicking, if they can find a way of creating a culture that is more patriotic than parochial, if they can improve even on their discipline, then the big push agenda, the 24-hour economy, has the potential to bring about the transformation that we need. Because unless we get transformation, unless Ghana is transformed one way or the other, then this cycle of going to the IMF, getting some stability, and then going haywire will be continued. Because all we've done is that where we've had an improvement in our credit ratings, on the back of that, we just go back into the international borrowing market. We borrow and we come and consume. You understand? So my call on the government now is they've done well. But there was a reason why I brought about the 2013 ratings. They are doing well, or they seem to be doing well because of one, beyond the context, but also because of the comparison. If you compare with the junk, then it looks like you are doing so well. You understand? But if there's a time for them to rise and shine and follow their own policies, it's not, because when they do that, then we can be transformed. And that's the only way in which we can have a sustained economic.
Dr. Sutuboying, now after